I wasn't expecting to make this video today, but I just received something in the mail, and I'm excited about this one, and I can't wait to open it, and I thought y'all would enjoy seeing it also. So let's get to cutting on some tape here and see what we've got. And this was sent to me from Adam. He contacted me on Facebook Messenger, and he thought this might be something good for the channel, a good project for the channel, and I had to agree with him. See what we got. And Adam, you did a fine job of packaging this. There we go. See if we can't get this out of here. Oh, look at that. This is obviously it's a stock, and Adam ran across this at an estate sale. Unfortunately, the gentleman had passed away, and he had two rifle stocks there. He had a more traditional stock, and he had this one. And Adam sent me the pictures, and I loved it. That's all I can say. And the gentleman, unfortunately, didn't get to finish this, which I'm just seeing exactly what we've got here. And this is for a Winchester Model 70. I think I got just the perfect rifle for it. And I'm not sure how much of the work the gentleman did to the stock himself. As soon as I saw this, my first thought was Phagin. I mean, that's just what it reminded me of, was a Phagin stock. And back in the day, Phagin and Bishop, very popular companies that made stocks. Those were the Boyds of the day, way back when. And you could order stocks for any rifle off of them and from them. And the stocks would be sometimes finished, sometimes semi-finished, but they would do the inletting. And then people would go out and then just put a gorgeous finish on them and so forth. And, you know, this was really popular back in the 50s, but then especially in the 60s and 70s. And if I'm not mistaken, Phagin also pioneered having the two bosses right here for pressure points for factory stocks that weren't bedded, where they weren't free-floated. I think that was Phagin that pioneered that, and it turns out that greatly improved accuracy. But anyway, that was back when people used to order stocks like this and then semi-finished, but already inletted, and then they would go out to their shops, and then they would work on them in the evenings after work and things like that, and they would make some gorgeous rifle stocks. You know, that's just about a thing of the past now. But so I don't know if this is one that the gentleman ordered already to this point, semi-finished, and then he was going to do all the detail work from here, or if he actually did all this work up to this point himself. I'm not sure, but one thing I am sure of is this is just an absolutely gorgeous piece of walnut. And you can see he's got the rosewood end cap. He's got the maple strips in between. That's where the white line spacers that were so popular in the 60s and 70s, that's where those came from. They started with gunsmiths. Instead of using plastic spacers, they were actually using strips of maple to give it the white line. And then later on that turned to most manufacturers just going to plastic because it's so much quicker and cheaper. But the maple looks so much better. And he's actually got two strips of maple with the rosewood in between. I like that. So he's got the double lines on this. And then the rosewood pommel on the end here. Nice palm swell. Oh yeah. Big, high Monte Carlo cheek piece here. And that's part of what, when I saw this, just screamed Phagin for me. That was really popular on the Phagin stock. So whether he bought this from Fajan or a similar manufacturer already inletted or did it himself. He was definitely going for the look of a Fajan. And the reason I wonder if he'd purchased it is because it came with, it's already got the Pachmeyer recoil pad, and it is fitted perfectly to the stock. So it's gonna be at least June, maybe July before I can start on this, just with my schedule. And I know there's gonna be a lot of time put into this and a lot of work. That's okay, it's gonna turn out really nice when we're done. And I think I mentioned Adam acquired 2 stocks at that estate sale. The other one more conservative, more classic style than this. But he's never redone a stock, or I know he hasn't done checkering from his message. So what he's going to do is he's going to follow along with what we're doing with this one, and then he's going to work on his and finish it. And I thought, hey, that's a good idea. So for any of you that have thought about redoing a stock, or you've got one, access to one, or could get one in similar shape, already mostly finished, and you want to turn it into something nice, you might want to join in with us as well come whenever we start this in late June or July. And for myself, I was just going over what exactly I need. So for any of you that are thinking about joining along, this might be interesting for you. I've got my checkering tools here. They're as simple as they can be, but I need to update these because most of mine are really dull. And we've got different tools, different angle cutters. I'm not going to get into every tool now because it's easier if you just see how the tool actually works in practice. So I'm going to leave links below in the description for a few videos on checkering. And I've got my rasps here. These remove wood quickly. Now, fortunately, I'm not going to have to do a lot of work to this stock with rasps, but I will need to remove some wood on the fore-end tip here. It still needs a good bit of work. And this Fawn's foot here, palm on, pistol grip. A lot of wood here still really proud. And so I'm definitely going to be using rasps for this, and dowel for wrapping sandpaper around for getting into places like this, along with some sanding blocks. And I'm going to have to make some decisions on this in the meantime, like what kind of checkering pattern do I want? I'm going to have to design my checkering pattern and figure out how do I want to lay that out? What do I want the appearance to be? Do I want to get really fancy and have a fleur-de-lis in here? So lots of options, which that's the great thing about doing something like this yourself. You just have to decide all of that ahead of time. And any of you that are going to try checkering, you're going to need a checkering cradle. I can tell you that now. This is pretty much a must-have. There's some people that are capable of checkering without this, but for me it's a necessity. And a white marker, just a white China marker. This is really handy for marking on dark wood such as walnut, and this just wipes right off and it doesn't mar the wood in any way. It doesn't leave any marks. And I'm going to have to be particularly picky about every little thing on this one because I want this one to turn out perfect. So that means a little extra work on my part, but it's going to be worth it in the end. So yeah, if any of you want to join along with your own little project, go ahead and round up some tools and such, and again, I'll leave some links below. You also probably want a really good vise for the checkering cradle. That's really handy when you can lock it in and then you've got rotating jaws. And then if you can swivel the vise as well, then that just makes it that much easier. Okay, that has a really good feel to it. And the gentleman that started this must have had very similar dimensions as myself, body type, because the length of pull is just perfect on this, and it just has a really good feel to it. Now, it's going to be nice, and I can't wait to see what this walnut looks like. I can see the grain in it now. It's already gorgeous. Once this is finished, it's going to be something. And anyway, I just wanted to share this with y'all. I'm excited, and for those of you that might want to join along and redoing a stock, give you a heads up so you can go ahead and round up some tools and equipment. I'm probably going to finish this one in True Oil, so you'll need a finish, you'll need to decide on a finish and all that fun stuff. And anything you need as far as supplies, you can get it at Midway USA or Brownells. I'm not supported by either, no ties with either. I just like both of them. They both do a lot for the shooting community, and Larry Potterfield in particular, he actually bought Fagin stocks back in the 90s. A lot of you probably remember the Fagin thumbhole stocks for the Ruger 1022s. That was really popular in the 90s, and well, that was when he bought the company. Unfortunately, he bought the company, he built a nice facility, new facility, updated everything, and it desperately needed updating. Brought in CNC equipment and so forth. The problem was there just wasn't enough demand for real wood stocks at the time to sustain the business, so they ended up closing. Now, I've since heard that someone else has bought the company and that you can get Fagin stocks again now, but anyway, I always appreciated that he at least tried to keep the company going, because Fagin stocks, they do have a history, and we'll talk more about that when we actually start the project. But again, if you want to join along, go ahead and round up some supplies. And okay, now I got to get back to loading for that 1885. We got to get that wrapped up. God bless and have a great day.